By the way, a quick, very special thanks to the names you see on screen for providing the footage, link in the description for their channels below. Animation and video games are two of my favorite things in the entire world, but there's a certain type of animation that I genuinely do like. Cartoons like Ben 10 and Teen Titans, and rubber hose animation like Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny or Looney Tunes. That type of animation is so nostalgic to me alongside other animation styles like anime or cartoony like Ben 10 or Justice League Unlimited. Very good shows. But what if there was a game that had rubber hose animation and it became one of the best run and gun platformers ever conceived? And it was conceived by two brothers who looked to make a game giving love to rubber hose animation as a whole. Well, let me tell you something, alright?
You're right, Devil. He's not wearing the sweater. You are!
Fuck yeah, we got Cuphead in the house, baby! Woo! I fucking love this game so goddamn much, dude. Oh my god. Back in 2021, I got the game from the Nintendo Switch thanks to my good buddy and fellow multipal, Squishy Mushroom, who gave me a code for it, and a few years later, I actually bought the PS4 version on my PS5, which is what I'm going to base the review on. And I even bought the PC version. And yes, there are tons of mods that I haven't tried out yet, but I will. That's how much I love this game. Just like with the Mario Kart World review, this review is basically all my thoughts and opinions on this game. But just know, I'm going to be gushing about this game. A lot. Also, this video might just end up being much longer since I have a lot to say in regard to Cuphead. I won't be talking about the show since I'm purely focusing on the game. And that I didn't finish the show. And of course, I'll even talk about the co-op considering I played Cuphead with Squishy Mushroom on our Multipals channel. Link in the description for that. With that said, I'm Archer.XYZ, and this is my review on Cuphead plus its DLC. Perfectly named The Delicious Last Course. Let us get into it, baby. Woo! First off, I have to mention this right off the bat because, damn! The art direction of this game is fucking spectacular! The entire art direction is none other than the rubber hose animation style, often seen in cartoons like Steamboat Willie and many Warner Bros. Cartoons. And it takes quite a long time to finish up, as it took around 5 to 6 years to paint each and every detail in the world and the characters that lie within the Inkwell Isles. And I love it! Oh my god. Plus, it runs beautifully smooth at 60 frames per second, or if you're on PC, 120 frames per second. Oh my god. Great stuff all around. Holy shit. Next up, the music. What do you even want me to say here? The soundtrack, honest to god, might just be a top 5. Maybe even a top 3. You got very boppy and jazzy tracks like Floral Fury, Inkwell 1, Forest Follies, Perilous Piers, The King's Court, One Hell of a Time, and of course, you got some delicious last chorus tracks like Snow Cold Scuffle, High Noon Hoopla, One Hell of a Dream, etc., etc. And just like the Mario Kart World review, I want to highlight my favorites. Here's Floral Fury to kick things off. Next, here's Fiery Frolic. And finally, my favorite title screen theme, the delicious last course.
Cuphead, Mugman, and Chalice make a deal. As a team, adventuring to help make Chalice free. It's the delicious last course. Oh, the delicious last course. One can eat their fill and still stay until the delicious last course. It's the delicious last course. Oh, that delicious last course. There's hot cakes and pies, a dozen scones, oh my, for that delicious last course. Oh, Miss Chalice just wants to be just as real can be. With a wonder tart, she can then take heart us all to the bakery. Chef Salt Baker has a plan, the best tart maker in the land. If they're expedient with the ingredients, then he might just lend a hand. With that delicious last course, oh that delicious last course. If there's a single meal to help make Chalice real, it's a delicious last course. Oh the delicious last course, oh the delicious last course.
Seriously, the soundtrack invokes the nostalgic tracks of old from cartoons like Mickey Mouse and Looney Tunes in the best ways possible. At least in my opinion, of course. Now let's get into the gameplay itself. How does Cuphead play? Well, before I gush about the gameplay itself, let's split it into a couple of categories here. First off, the bosses. The first type of gameplay that you're almost immediately hit with is the boss levels. The bosses all have patterns for you to assess and take advantage of while you fight them. And to combat them, you start shooting your magic attacks at them, which you can equip in the menu. Only if you get to Pork Rinds and Purin, but we'll talk about that in a minute. You can also dodge the boss's attacks to reposition yourself in a better spot, where you can be least likely to get hit and continue holding down the shoot button. On top of that, whenever there are pink objects or obstacles, that is the time to parry. And trust me, you are going to hear it a lot. Which you press the jump button twice. Oh god, that was bad. Anyway, and parrying can be your best friend, as there are cards that can come up right beside your health. But there's also another type of boss level, aeroplane levels. That should be self-explanatory. The aeroplane levels let you control a plane, shrink the plane down, and you can even change the weapon to be a tiny little nuke that you can use as well. The bosses themselves are very fun to play, and we'll go over them soon. And next, run and gun. The other type of gameplay is your run and gun levels. These levels almost remind me of games like 2D Mario, specifically Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario World. But these levels in Cuphead hide many enemies for you to avoid. That's where your weapons come in handy, obviously playing off the name of the type of levels. You run and gun down your enemies, alongside using your charms like a smoke dash or a heart ring to get by. Some of the run and gun levels are pretty damn awesome to go through, and a couple I don't really like. Not much to say on the levels themselves here, but we'll get into that soon. But they're very fun to go through. And of course, there is Porkrind's Emporium, where you buy a lot of the shots that you can have access to. And some of them differ greatly to the standard pea shooter that you're given, thanks to Elder Kettle. Like the Spread, which goes out in a 3-way spread, and it's pretty damn powerful but with a short range. The Chaser, where it can, you know, chase your opponent, but its damage is kind of weak. The Lobber, which goes pretty damn high in the... and the damage is pretty damn good. The Charge, you literally just charge a shot, and it depends on how long you hold the button. That's how strong the attack can be. And Roundabout, which when you shoot it in front, it'll go all the way back. So if you turn back and shoot, the Roundabout will go back and hit the other enemies. And that's also including the charms like the Coffee, Smoke Bomb, Pea Sugar, and the Heart. And the supers, we'll talk about those soon. Now for my thoughts on the gameplay. I fucking love it. The gameplay and the difficulty are a big reason why I love this game in particular. The difficulty absolutely enhances the game for me, as it's not really unfair difficulty, except for one boss in particular that I want to rant about, but let's wait on that, shall we? And when you fight the bosses, and you can't catch up with the attacks at all, you dying is your fault. Especially when the final boss of Cuphead, the Devil, hits you with quite an assortment of attacks. The co-op aspect of the game is also incredible. Of course, bosses do take more hits if you play with other people, like I did with Squishy Mushroom. Check out the Multipals playthrough for that. But you and your friends can have a great time fighting the boss, and maybe even something funny happens to you. And on Multipals, you can you can absolutely see some funny moments from when Squishy Mushroom and I played Cuphead. You have so many bosses to fight in all 4 aisles, including Inkwell Hell. Yes, I said 4 aisles. The Delicious Last Course has the Inkwell Isle 4 island. And now, I want you to grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and get comfortable, because let's go over the bosses first, since they're like the main part of the game here. And trust me, it's going to be long. So enjoy! Inkwell Isle 1 bosses. The Root Pack. The Root Pack are the first bosses you go up against, and they're the absolute easiest boss you can fight. The first phase has Sal Sputter shoot dirt balls and pink worms, the latter of which you can parry to fill your supercard gauge. It's what I call it. The next phase has Ollie Bulb, and this can go one or two ways. You keep attacking him and his tears will rain down from the sky and try to hurt you. Or you don't attack him, and the third phase will immediately start with Chauncey Chompney, but now with Horace Radish joining in to make it a tiny bit harder. This is that secret phase. And yes, Cuphead has a lot of those. Well, only 4, but you get the idea. But if you do shoot Ollie Bulb, the third phase will happen, but Horseradish doesn't appear. And depending on how hard you want the boss to be, you could do the secret phase. Next up, Goopy Legrand. Or Goopy Leguand, as I call him. Goopy Legrand is the next boss you fight against, and this one's actually kind of interesting. Mr. Blue Putty over here jumps around, which is an incentive on using the dash to get out of the way of his attacks. His first phase is pretty simple. He jumps around, and sometimes he may stay onto the ground, ready to throw himself at you as if he's throwing a punch. In the second phase, he'll down a pill, and 3 pink question marks appear as well. Parrying those helps you get a better rank, and fills your supercard gauge. He grows comically large, and he still does the jumping, but instead of throwing himself at you, like he was turning into a boxing glove, he throws a punch at you wearing an actual boxing glove. Keep hitting him and eventually he'll get dizzy and his gravestone will crush him, and now you fight the gravestone, which is the final phase. Goopy's grave over here then goes side to side, frequently going to slam himself down at you when you're in front of him. His gravestone breaks when you defeat him. This one's also pretty easy, all things considered. Next up, Hildeberg. Hildeberg is the next boss you fight. And her fight's pretty interesting, where you fight against her in 3 constellation or zodiac forms. Taurus, where she will lunge at you with her horns. This is the first transformation, except for expert mode, that she will always use. The other 2, Gemini and Sagittarius, are completely random each time you fight her. Gemini is Hilda turning into twins that circle around a ball. A vortex is summoned with an incantation, which always just makes it sound like a jumbled set of words or just them speaking gibberish. And bullets in a line will go in a circle, which you have to dodge. And Sagittarius is where she becomes a buff centaur with a bow and arrow that she will use to shoot a gigantic arrow across the screen, along with some blue homing stars. When Hilda takes enough damage, she will go back to her normal form, and then transform back. And then when she takes even more damage, she will turn into a goddamn moon. She cannot directly attack, but there will be UFOs that come out. A red UFO, which only attack if you're directly under it, and the gold UFO will attack in front of the player always. They almost have 10,000 hit points! So don't even bother to destroy one. And that's Hildeberg. Pretty unique for a Cuphead boss, right? Next up, Cagney Carnation. Oh boy, here we go. This one's definitely one of my favorites for sure. Cagney Carnation is the next boss you can fight against, but with all the bosses in all aisles, you can go in any order that you wish. But anyways, onto Cagney over here. He's got many attacks that could catch you off guard, but he gets ready to launch those attacks, which gives you time to plan accordingly and dodge. He can lunge straight at you while you're on the platforms, or while you're under the platforms. He can also launch a sycamore seed that will fly like a boomerang, or 3 flying acorns that will home in on you. But at some point, he will shoot many seeds into the air, and of course you can parry the pink ones to fill your gauge. Once you hurt Cagney enough, he gets very, very angry, and he throws his hands down to the ground where vines protrude from him, and they will attack you from under the platforms. And he will also shoot pollen at you, having you jump over them on top of dodging the sharp vines that will attack you. And that's pretty much it for Cagney Carnation. The music for this boss just makes it even better, in my personal opinion. Oh, also, there's this funny as hell clip that I have for Cagney Carnation that I really want you to see. So, yeah, here's that clip.
I'm actually giving us a bit.
What the? What?
That happened to me with one of the later bosses.
What the?
We win! We win! You're
No way! Nah. Hold on.
Only one penny, oh well. You've gotta be...
Oh my god.
Next up, Ribby and Croaks. And this is the final boss that you can face in Inkle Isle 1. Also, thank you, Chari5, because I cannot unsee it now. But Ribby and Croaks are one big Street Fighter reference when it comes to their beginning taunts and their attacks as well. In Phase 1, Ribby will shoot out fish-shaped energy attacks, some of which are pink, that you can parry. And the energy attacks are fast. in regular mode at least. They're even faster in expert mode, but thankfully, depending on how hard it was for you, they are also slower in simple mode. Croaks, on the other hand, spits out fireflies that will slowly go towards you, but they are very easily disposable. If they take enough damage, Ribby will spin dash his way to the other side. In Phase 2, they will switch up their attacks with Ribby slapping 3-ring projectiles at you, while Croak spins so damn fast like a fan. God, that must hurt, even though this is literally a cartoon world. If they take enough damage, in this phase, Ribby will roll into Croak's mouth, and Croak will transform into, well, a frankly gigantic slot machine. And this is where Phase 3 begins. The slot machine works like this. You parry the crank, and since it is a thing that you have to parry, it doesn't count towards the total at the end of the boss fights or run and gun levels. And 3 types of chip platforms based on animals are sent out at random. Number 1, tiger. Orange chips are sent out with orange balls that you can either go under or go over with your jumps or smoke dash. The smoke dash is your best friend with these fights. I highly recommend it. Number 2, snake. You jump on the green chip platforms as it speeds up. Definitely the easiest part unless you fumble your control over Cuphead and Mugman. And finally, number 3, bowl. There are red chips that will float in the middle of the screen, and it shoots in an indicated direction, which you jump over or go under. And that's the boss fights in Inkwell Isle 1. I'll rank these bosses based on how fun and how difficult they were for me. D being easy, and A being hard. So, Root Pack, piss easy, but I like the secret phase, D tier. Goopy Legrand, another piss easy boss fight, but the Gravestone portion did give me a bit of trouble upon first playthrough, C tier. Hildeberg, having replayed it, the Haas catch me a bit off guard, and the final phase was where I struggled on first playthrough, before YouTube, but now it's just pretty easy. Another C tier. Cagney Carnation, easiest D tier ever. And yeah, I'm still pretty damn proud of that little exploit on Multipals, aka the clip I showed you earlier. And finally, Ribby and Croaks. The Tiger and Bull ones still give me a bit of trouble, but I've had the most fun with this one. Top of C tier for me. And that's the Inkwell Isle 1 bosses. Inkwell Isle 2 bosses. Now onto Inkwell Isle 2. There are much harder bosses here, but let's start with the easiest of the bunch. Baroness von Bonbon. Her first phase is varied among Bonbon's subjects actually, so let's go over those real quick. Lord Godpacker. He just flies towards wherever you are, essentially chasing you while you attack. That's it. And he's just structured like Pac-Man. What the hell? Next, Conniving Candy Corn. He just goes into a horizontal figure 8 pattern, and he also has smaller candy corn that's all over the screen. Why? Musky Chernikov. He jumps around all over the screen and frosty shockwaves spread out as he lands. That's that. Greedy Gumball. He shoots out a lot of gumballs at you as he goes back and forth. And finally, Weasley Waffle. She flies around the arena and splits into 9 pieces spread around the arena. In Phase 2, Bonbon herself joins in on the fight, making her castle crawl to you and it becomes a side-scroller. She will launch her head at you and it will home in on you a few times before it goes off screen, and she will relaunch her head once it comes back. Then it'll go off screen, then she'll relaunch it, it'll chase after you, etc, etc. You know the drill. And Cream Pup, the name of the castle, will also spit out a pink mint called Patsy Menthols, which you can parry to gain some extra needed height. And that's the boss! Next up, Beppy the Clown. Oh, this boss fight. Oh boy. Okay. How do I put this? I actually do like this boss fight in the game. No, seriously, I thought Beppy the Clown, no matter how damn annoying he is, was a pretty fun boss fight. So, let's get into the phases. Phase 1 begins with BEARDBEAR driving his bumper car towards the player, and sometimes he will dash at you, so you will have to jump over him. There are also cardboard ducks that you can shoot and parry if there's a pink one. After that phase, he crashes on the side of the screen and then falls. Phase 2 now has BEARDBEAR the clown becoming a damn balloon, and now he will send balloon dogs after you, some of which are pink, which is obvious on what you should do at that point. Come on now. Every so often, a roller coaster will also pass and you can jump on it and avoid the passengers. And after that comes the third phase, where now BEARDBEAR rides a Charlie horse that brays like a donkey for whatever reason. It doesn't neigh or whinny like a horse like at all. And it will either shoot out yellow colored horseshoes where it is lined in a row to come down on top of you, or green colored horseshoes where it goes in a wave pattern, but there is a pink one for every one. And then comes the final phase. BEARDBEAR falls down from the side of the arena after crying about how he got his ass kicked on his horse. But now he's become a chair swing ride. And now you have a lot to avoid. Oh god. You have to constantly jump on the platforms while avoiding the fast as hell roller coaster. And you have penguins that will also throw baseballs at you. All of that on top of the fast coaster that could hit you and hurt you. It could be a hassle for you. I should know. It was indeed a hassle for me when I played the boss for the first time. And yeah, that's BEARDBEAR. Easily one of my favorites. Next up, Jimmy the Great. Oh, Jimmy, how I tolerate you. There are 5 phases to this fight. 5! And not to pad out the video for time, I'm going to go over the 5 phases pretty quickly. Phase 1, Jimmy summons a treasure chest that can shoot out 3 blue and 1 pink scimitars that will launch themselves at you. It will also shoot out some jewelry, gems, and goblets, and finally, 2 cat sarcophagi will shoot out 4 cat scarabs, one of which is pink. Jimmy will also shoot out his skull as a fiery trajectory projectile. So, yeah, there's that. Phase 2, Jimmy becomes multiple pillars that you have to get through before you get to the next phase. Whoop-de-doo. Phase 3, a sarcophagus of Jimmy holding the slug-like form of the genie will move up and down while mummified ghosts. First off, how the fuck does that even make any sense whatsoever? How? Oh yeah, duh, because it's a cartoon world. Anyway, those mummified ghosts come out of the sarcophagus as Jimmy himself shoots his eyes that shape themselves like the planet Saturn. Phase 4, Jimmy summons Cuphead, a puppet version of Cuphead/Mugman, and he shoots out many bullets from his pea-shooter-esque weapon, and the trajectory is almost vertical. Almost. And Jimmy's turban will also shoot out many bullets at you, and depending on how good you receive visual information, this could be easy to avoid altogether while you shoot Cuphead, or pretty damn hard to keep up with. And of course, there is a secret phase. Just like with Inkle Isle 1's The Rupak. The secret phase, all you have to do is shrink yourself to a mini plane during which there will be a mini Cuphead accompanying you for the final phase. And speaking of which, phase 5. Jimmy turns gigantic and 3 pyramids will circle around the screen shooting off a laser that goes in 4 directions. And he will also shoot out a transparent ring-shaped projectile. And if you're on the secret phase, Cuphead will also shoot towards you and try to go at you. And that's that for Jimmy. Oh shit. Grim Matchstick. This fucking guy let's just get into it real fast, because I don't want to be on here for much longer, bro. Phase 1. Grim Matchstick here shoots ripples from his eyes, and 3 or 4 projectiles come out of said ripples, but he will also shoot out fireballs that will go in a wave pattern, on top of sending out his tail to attack you. And that's literally it. Phase 2. Grim sends out marching fireballs, some of which will launch themselves at you. In Super Mode, this is where the fight ends. You don't do anything else. However, if you're playing regular or expert mode, Phase 3. Oh dear fucking Christ. Grim over here grows 3 heads like he's fucking King Ghidorah. Or King Ghidorah. I said Ghidorah. What the fuck is wrong with me? And he shoots 6 to 9 cluster fireballs. And the middle head of Grim becomes a flamethrower, which means it's time for you to be either on top or go under the flames. And that's it for Grim Matchstick. And finally, Wally Warbles. This asshole of a bird gave me and Squishy Mushroom quite the trouble on our Multipals episode. Let's get into it. Phase 1. Wally starts shooting eggs out of his mouth, and once the egg breaks, a spread shot of 3 bullets go out. He will also turn his head into a hand, shooting a spread shot as well. And of course, there are rows of 4 birds, one of which is pink, and yes, you know what to do there. But once enough damage is dealt, he'll get very, very, very pissed off. Well, which is shown by his head turning into a train whistle, and he will send out a lot of feathers towards you. And there was going to be parryable feathers, but that was scrapped entirely. Phase 2. Once Wally is disposed of, this time it's his son that will come at you, Willy Warbles. And all he does is float around the screen shooting pink bullets from his ray gun. And he's surrounded by spiked eggs that will hurt you. Big tip is to shrink down when he's close to you so that you don't get hit. And finally, Phase 3. Once Willy is also disposed of, Wally comes back with 2 birds carrying him in a stretcher. He will spew trash where his head turns into a trash can, but he will also stomp his chest to shoot his heart upwards, which then shoots 3 bullets in a spread shot. And also, the 2 blue birds shoot out pills that split open. And also, you can attack from the bottom of the stretcher before it goes to the left side of the screen. The bombs, or the little tiny nukes, are needed otherwise. And that's all Inkwell Isle 2 bosses. Like last time, I'll rank the bosses. So, Baroness Von Bon. Her subjects are not that difficult in the slightest. And she's the easiest boss tier. D tier, including her subjects. Beppy the Clown. Not too bad, but the balloon dogs and the final phase kind of made me rage quite a bit. Like, I don't like that final phase, bro. I just don't. B tier, Jimmy the Great. Died quite a bit to the second to last phase, and died a lot to the final phase, but it was genuinely a very interesting boss fight overall. I actually really like this one. Another B tier, Grim Matchstick. Asshole. A tier, Wally Warbles plus Willy. The feathers kind of messed me up, but this one was actually not too bad. I enjoyed it actually. Way more than Beppy the Clown. B tier. And that's it for the Inkwell Isle 2 bosses. Inkwell Isle 3 bosses. Oh dear God. This isle has one of the hardest bosses that I hate with every fiber of my being. And it also has one of the hardest run and gun stages I've ever played, and it might surprise you which one I pick. Or not, depending on how much you played the game. But let's get started on the bosses. Rumor Honeybottoms. This boss is quite a doozy. And the thing about this boss fight in particular is that it will constantly scroll up until you defeat this queen bee. The first phase begins with a worker bee going out of the way, and yes, you can kill him, but it's the security bee that you have to watch out for. He will pull out a bomb with bee stingers that will go in many directions. Take care of him, and Rumor herself will fight you, throwing a couple attacks right at you, most of which you can parry. One of them is a tetrahedron. I can't speak today. That shoots out 3 triangles that are pink. You know what to do here. A sphere that will go after you, again, that is pink, and bee missiles. Hurt her enough, and she turns into a damn plane after using her magic book while also sounding like a damn police alarm. What is that about? Phase 2 begins with her fists being shot like missiles, and sometimes she will go to one side and a giant buzzsaw will go straight at you. That's it. After that, you defeat her. Pretty damn easy. Captain Brinybeard. Yeah, Brinybeard himself is not even that tough. No, that status belongs to his ship, but even then it's pretty piss easy. The captain himself only really attacks when he has an octopus shoot out some bullets, one of which is pink. Duh. And there is a barrel that moves back and forth, and when you go under it, it will try to crash down on you. Deal enough damage, and the ship will then shoot cannonballs while summoning either a shark. Well, Brinybeard either summons either a shark that will go at you, a squid that will obstruct your view if you get hit by its ink, or some dogfish that slide across the deck to try and hit you. Of course, if this was simple mode, the battle would end right here. But since I played regular mode, that's not the end of this boss fight. Once enough damage has been dealt, the ship itself throws Brinybeard overboard, and now it's the main enemy to defeat. Now its main weak point is its uvula in its mouth, but be very cautious here. There are circling fireballs that will travel in a, circle towards you. And after that, the uvula will shoot a mega energy beam. What the fuck? After that, you're done with this boss fight. Pretty damn fun. And on my playthrough, I defeated the boss first try in quite a weird layout of the weapons that I used. Wow. Calamaria. This boss was pretty damn tricky, but I won't lie and say that I didn't have fun because she was actually another interesting boss. Let's get into it. Calamaria begins the fight in a couple of ways. She can dive down underwater and grab either a red fish, which can shoot 3 bursts of fire fishes in a six-way spread, or she can grab a yellow fish that will shoot out an electrified dolphin that will home in on you and follow your every move. While those are happening, a seahorse could obstruct your movement when it spits out water, a turtle fires out bombs that release shrapnel in 8 directions, and or pufferfish that float upwards in a formation. Once enough damage is dealt there, Calamaria gets shocked by 2 electric eels, and her tentacles become snakes as she becomes Medusa-like. And this was where it got a tiny bit harder for me. Upon first playthrough, of course. Nowadays, it's pretty damn easy. The eels will shoot out many bullets, and if you don't take care of them fast enough, it'll become a bullet hell situation when you have to dodge so many shots, my god. And yes, since Calamaria is Medusa-like, naturally she will freeze you into solid stone when she uses that ability, but only for a couple of seconds. You can just mash out pretty damn quickly. And you can avoid it if you go above her, but you'll have to be very quick with that. And finally, her final phase sees her head coming off, like Medusa's head, and now you have to traverse through a cave while also watching out for her green ghost attack that will freeze you into solid stone as well. And there are skulls that will float right near you, and you have to be careful there. After that, you're done. Pretty fun. Oh wow, that rhymes. Anyway, Sally's stage play. This is the final boss in the main game to have a secret phase. And Sally herself is kind of annoying, but also another fun boss fight. Sally here does multiple attacks. She can jump up and go down like a corkscrew, going at you or towards your direction if you're far away. She can also jump in the air, stay there for a bit, and she throws fans at you as well, which stick onto the ground until they disappear. She can also go into a parasol and drop down from above. And lastly, she could blow kisses that you could parry. After that, depending on if you did the secret phase, it will change. If you play normally, Sally and her husband go off screen together and the babies will join in on the fun, throwing their baby bottles at you. But if you do the secret phase, her husband dies, and nuns will throw crosses at you. After that phase, Sally becomes goddess-like, and now she will throw meteors, lightning bolts, and even a wave at you. And there will be a star that you could parry. And of course, if you do the secret phase, her husband joins in. And it kind of makes it difficult, but not too much. And now for the final phase. Sally will receive a standing ovation as her parasol will be the main thing that you avoid while shooting Sally down. So just jump as one of your homing shots takes her down. And that's that for Sally's stage play. Dr. Cal's robot. I do not like this son of a fucking bitch one bit. No, I refuse to acknowledge this worthless bitch-ass motherfucker. But, alas, I have to tell you about this Dr. Wily / Dr. Eggman ripoff character. So, let's begin. Oh, God. The automaton, the Dr. Cal robot... wow, what the fuck? The automaton, the robot Dr. Cal controls, has 3 attacks that will all happen at the same time. The head shoots a laser that will shoot wherever you're at the current moment. And the chest shoots out a pink cylindrical bot that shoots a laser vertically across the screen, and yes, you could parry it. And in the abdomen, 4 U-shaped drones go in a zigzag pattern. Let me tell you this, take care of the drones first. Prioritize them first, please. They were the reason that I struggled so damn much in the first phase. I hate them so much. Destroy those 3 parts and his heart will be exposed. Do everything you can to destroy that heart. Once you do that, the automaton's head pops off, and now it'll go across the screen back and forth. But now you have to watch out for the homing bombs that will come out if you destroy the abdomen. If you cannot get a clear shot on the homing bombs themselves, turn them on each other, and they'll explode together. Shoot the head enough times, and Dr. Cal will join the fight. And he brings out a red or blue gem. Is the Sonic fan of me saying this? So bear with me here. That honestly could be his versions of the Chaos Emeralds. The blue Chaos Emerald fires in bursts of 6, and the red Chaos Emerald fires in bursts of 8. On top of that shit, you have to watch out for the electrified walls. Switching to the mini-plane is your best friend in this fight. Please make use of it. And that's it for Dr. G. No, I'm not gonna finish that. No, I'm not gonna finish that. Nope. I do not want to be on YouTube's bad side. Please don't hurt me, YouTube. It's not that serious, please. I hate this boss with a burning passion. I hate him so goddamn much. And finally, Werner Vermin. This colossal ass rat is also one of my favorites. And it is needed after the bullshit that was Dr. Cal and his stupid ass automaton, bro. Oh my fucking god. Anyway, Werner here has two main attacks that he will use at his disposal. He has a cherry cannon that will send shockwaves as they land. And there's a scrap attack where he hurls projectiles at you, the gun being parryable. Of course, since it's, pink. After that, he will charge at you in his can to the other side of the arena while bringing out some springs that you can parry to get over him. After that, he'll get very pissed off enough and he'll operate a tank with two flamethrowers, one on each side. And on both sides, there are bottle caps that are also buzzsaws, and they'll telegraph it when they pull back. You'll know when they come up. And finally, Werner will panic, and he will be eaten by the cat that's been stalking you and Werner, also known as Katzenwagen, who will be the final phase. Katzenwagen can slap the floor while trying to reach for you, and wooden boards will drop. Two spectral rats will also shoot pink balls at you, and there is a shockwave when the ball lands. And that's it for Katzenwagen and Werner, who was actually controlling Katzenwagen the entire time. How the fuck does that even work? Oh my god. And finally, we're on the final boss of Inkwell Isle 3 before Inkwell Hell. And this one I actually do really like. And that boss is the Phantom Express. I did struggle with this one a fair bit, but the idea of this boss is very cool. You have to face three mini bosses here before facing off against the train. First, Blind Spectre. All this dude does is attack by bouncing his eyeballs towards you. That's it. The Conductor. This guy looking like Grim from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Shout out to those who grew up with Cartoon Network. Y'all are the fucking goats. He attacks by slamming his hands depending on where they're at in the three open train cars. The Lollipop Ghouls. All they literally do is shoot down lightning from their mouths. That's it. And now, the head of the train. Once you ride past him, he will get angry and disconnect himself from the rest of the train as he gallops right beside you. His tail can be parried, but of course, that is a mandatory parry, meaning it does not count towards the parry check. And you need to parry it to open up the grate where his core is exposed. But watch out, because he will shoot out the fireballs and bone rings that will come down, and when you're directly in front of it, they will go straight at you. I did struggle with this guy a fair bit, but this was a very cool boss fight. I enjoyed it. And now, let's rank the Inkwell Isle 3 bosses. Rumor Honeybottoms. A couple of her attacks do catch me off guard sometimes, but the final phase can be a bit annoying. But she was super fun on top of the difficulty. She's not too bad. I'd say B tier. Captain Brinybeard. Not even close to being that tough, including his ship. And the shark, squid, and dogfishes are pretty easy to dodge, including the barrel. Top of D tier. Excuse me. Holy shit. Calamaria. The final phase always seemed to get me because I just wasn't fast enough to dodge the top and bottom of the cave. Her first phase was pretty easy, and so was her second phase. C tier. Sally Stage Play. She was super fun to fight, but the second phase in both the secret and normal phases do get me a couple of times, but not enough to make me rage. The third phase, relatively easy, and so was the final phase. But the secret phase version of phase 3 was a bit more difficult, near the top of C tier. Dr. Cal's Robot. I hate you so fucking much. First phase was where I died the most, and the last phase is bullshit! Top of A tier so far. Werner Vermin and Katzenwagen. Werner wasn't that tough, and neither was Katzenwagen. But the wooden boards falling did get me a few times while I played. C tier. And finally, the Phantom Express. Very easy, not even close to being a challenge. The train though did get me a couple of times. D tier. And of course, we're finally here. Inkwell Hell. Let's go over Inkwell Hell and the run and gun levels and rank them too. Let's get into it. Inkwell Hell. Ah yes, the final area of the main game where the devil and his lackey King Dice resides. 9 mini-bosses reside in King Dice's area, so we'll go over them really quickly before we get to the meat and potatoes of Inkwell Hell, Devil and King Dice. First up, Tipsy Troop. Only Ethan, the cup at the front, falls forwards and spills his contents. Jeanette summons olive bats and shoots its eyeball at you. And Romulus, the tall bottle, erupts the rum outside his bottle and it rains down on you. Next up, Chips Maddigan. Simplest boss fight ever, you dodge his chips while you attack. Very easy. Mr. Wheezy. He blows fireballs out of his mouth and sometimes he'll turn to ashes and go to the other side, which is your time to go to the other side as well. Cigarette bats will also try and hurt you, and no, they cannot be hurt at all. Pip and Dot. These two sit on a swing for the duration of the match. A domino bird is summoned, and sometimes a 20-sided die can also be summoned, one of which can be pink. You know the drill. Hoppus Pocus. This crazed-looking rabbit attacks by either summoning a ring of rabbit skulls that have an opening or a row of card suits like hearts, clubs, spades, and diamonds going down or up on you. Fear Lap. This one's a fun aeroplane boss. And all that happens here is that he shoots out a blue present out of his ribcage, where he releases 8 horseshoes, one of which is pink. You should know it by now. And the foreground can block your view a bit, which does make it a tad hard, but nothing too crazy. Pirouetta. There are 4 poker chips that you can parry and use as platforms. She just dances around pretty fast, and if you have the Smoke Dash or Miss Chalice, more on her in the DLC portion, you can dodge her very easily. There's also roulette balls that rain down, but if you know how the boss fight goes, and you keep attacking her, she won't even get to use that attack at all. Mangosteen. Oh, hello, Big Weld from Robots! No, I'm kidding. This is the easiest boss in King Dice's Gauntlet. He just shoots energy orbs at you while the pool chalk try to rain down on you. That's literally it. And finally, Mr. Chimes. This cymbal-playing monkey can only get attacked if you match a pair of cards. Once you match a pair, he screams and music notes come out of his cymbals. If you mess up, he gets faster just to damage you. And now, King Dice. Oh boy. In order to even fight King Dice, you must play a game where you roll a dice, and wherever you go, you land on the corresponding space. There are safe spaces, and of course, with 3 bosses, there are hearts that you gain before you go into the mini-boss. If you hit the start over space, you go back to the very beginning of the board game. The mini-boss spaces you clear will be empty, meaning you won't have to fight them again. And once you do make it to the end, that's when the fight starts. King Dice sends out cards, the heart card suits being the ones you must parry to have a chance at attacking him. If you have multiple hit points, this boss can be very easy. But do not assume it'll be easy, because you can mess up while parrying, unless you know how to parry it. As Miss Chalice, this fight is AIDS! Again, more on her soon. And that's all for King Dice. And now for the final boss of the main story.
Hi, Shadow. It's me, the devil.
Not you! The actual devil!
I love you.
I hate you so fucking much. Oh my fucking god. Anyway, the devil is probably my favorite boss compared to Chef Saltbaker. But we're not on the delicious last course yet. So, how does the devil want to kick our asses? Well, firstly, a cutscene will play where you have the option to accept the devil's deal, ending the game, with Cuphead and Mugman being the devil's eternal servants. But if you do not accept the deal, that is where the battle will begin. And to be honest, I struggled with this one a lot, not just on my own time, but on Multipals. But if you know my playthrough, I did that first try on that motherfucker, and I'm still proud of that. But if you did tell me that I would kick his ass first try on YouTube, I'd call you a big fat liar. So let's go over the phases now. Phase 1. The devil has a couple transformations and incantations to use on you. He can create 4 crystal balls that will bounce around the arena. He can create fireballs that go at you, and even more fireballs that will rotate and move even faster. He also has 3 transformations. Goat, which his head becomes that of a goat, and his arms extend to both sides to smash you between them. Spider, which sees him detach his head as it becomes spider-like and drops down on top of you. And finally, Serpent, which sees him extend his head to one side. And of course, while you fight the devil in his face, his minions, his little assholes, go from one side of the screen from the back to the other where you're fighting the devil. And once you hurt the devil enough, phase 2 begins, where he removes his skeleton. Oh, Jesus Christ, this cartoon world's fucking crazy. And he jumps down into a hole, and when you see the devil again, the devil is gigantic. And now he has 2 attacks. He summons an axe where he connects his eyes together, and a bat-like bomb that you need to parry lest you get hit with a large explosion. While this happens, flaming poker chips fall from the top of the screen to land on the platforms, so avoid those at all costs. And finally, phase 3. The devil will get frustrated, and now he will have his minions go at you. 2 purple-winged demons will shoot skulls from both sides, which can mess you up if you don't pay attention, but you can also shoot them down. And there are also small blue-winged demons that will home in on you. These can be dispatched pretty easily. And finally comes the final phase. The devil breaks down because he just cannot stop Cuphead and Mugman from beating his ass. Blood like tears will drop down, and yes, the poker chips are still here. And when you defeat him, he's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And that's it for not only the devil, but also the main story of the game. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you the story at the beginning. Shit. Huh. Okay. TLDR style, baby! Alright. So, what's the story of this game? Well, Cuphead and Mugman lose a game to the devil at the Devil's Casino, and their souls are his. How so? Well, Cuphead over here got too big for his fucking britches and decided to go all in and got Snake Eyes, that dumb son of a bitch. But they beg him not to take their souls, so the devil cuts them a deal. They have to take down all the bosses I just told you about via the contracts. And once you do defeat the bosses, and when you do defeat the devil, you burn the contracts, and they're finally free from the devil. And there's a big celebration afterwards. Hell yeah, dude! Now let's quickly rank the Inkwell Hell bosses so we can get to the good stuff, the run and gun levels. Tipsy Troop, piss easy, D tier. Chips Maddigan, piss easy, D tier. Mr. Wheezy, again, piss easy. The fireballs and the cigarette bats can get a bit annoying though, D tier. Pippin Dot, do I even need to say it? D tier. Hoppus Pocus, if you're not careful, the skulls and card suits going down can hurt you, but yeah, still easy, high D tier. Fear Lap, foreground can easily distract you, but he was easy, D tier. Piruletta again. Do I need to say it? D tier. Mangosteen. Bruh. This is the easiest boss in the entire game. What are you doing? D tier. At the very bottom of D tier, bro. What? Mr. Giants. Him moving fast if you mismatch the cards can screw you up quite a bit. And I did struggle a tiny bit, but not enough to move up a tier. Middle of D tier. King Dice. Parrying the cards is pretty easy, but you need to move quickly to parry the other one. But otherwise, he's pretty okay. C tier. And finally, the Devil. Definitely one of the harder bosses in the game. Even if I kicked his ass first try in my playthrough, I still struggled quite a bit with it. Especially in the second and third phases. He may be not as hard as Dr. Cal and his bitch-ass robot, but he's still quite difficult. I'd say A tier. And yeah, that's the Inkwell Hell bosses. The run and gun levels and the mausoleum levels. The run and gun levels are the platforming levels that genuinely are very fun. And there are 2 in each Inkwell Isle, minus Inkwell Hell and Inkwell Isle 4. The 2 for Inkwell Isle 1 are Forest Follies. You start near the forest and right off the bat you're hit with deadly daisies that spawn. You go through the forest dealing with all kinds of enemies, and of course, there are some obstacles that are in your way. And as you keep going, there are aggravating acorns that try to bombard you. Of course, there are coins, 5 in each, that you need to collect, well, that you can collect, and if you want more weapons and charms, you need to spend them at Porkrind's Emporium. Oh, and each Inkwell Isle has a hidden coin for you to collect, by the way, in the hub world. Treetop Trouble. You start at the bottom of a tree where bouncing beetles and the woodpecker come to surprise you. One of the bouncing beetles is pink, which means yes, you parry them. And there's a coin there. Next up, you go up against the stack of wood and the flying beetles. Pretty easy to take care of. There are then mosquito platforms that you can jump on, but afterwards comes a mini-boss in the form of the dragonfly. But once you take care of the dragonfly, you're basically done. The 2 levels from Inkwell Isle 2 are Fun Fair Fever. You enter the circus where you go through it with a living trampoline that will help you dodge the balloons and even parry one since there is a pink one. There are rolling balls in the next section, and there are pink balls to get greater height. Well, pink bells to get greater height. Oh my god, what am I saying? Next, there are cannons at the end of the next tent, and you have to dodge the cannonballs to take on a mini-boss. Afterwards, you take down shooting range, and lastly, you go through an area where there's a roller coaster, and you destroy a damn hot dog at the end to finally get through this one. And finally, Funhouse Frazzle. This one's actually kind of fun. Get it? That was so dumb. Anyway, there's a space-themed hallway with a floor on top and floor on the bottom. You can switch between the 2 easily by parrying the cards. These don't count towards the parry total, but the pink dunks that pass do. There's a wall at the end with an eye that you must shoot in order to pass through. You enter the second section where there are stars that have cannons and shoot in a cross formation. Get through that, and now you're at a wacky hallway with floors that move on your own. And getting through the jacks and tuba while the floors move can be a bit of a chore, but very much doable. And finally, the final 2 of the game are in Inkwell Isle 3. And they are as follows. Rugged Ridge. Oh boy. Now you're at a mountainous area with mountain goats and a literal mountain lion. The mountain goats can be scary to go up against because damn, their throw with their pickaxes is bullshit. And there's also scales that you go down when you go on them. Once you get to the next section, you are now on an elevator-like platform. You have no choice but to survive here. Grim Juniors and clay golems surround you on that platform. And once you land, you have to watch out for satyrs and parry the pink face that shoots oil, or shoot them down. And after getting through that one, now there's a chase sequence with the Cyclops. You have to make it to the end of the level. That's that for Rugged Ridge. Not too bad, but definitely one of my least favorites. And finally, Perilous Piers. You start out at a stone pier where fishy flyers, larnacle barnacles, and urban urchins block your path. One fishy flyer can be parried. Next, you get on top of the crabby clusters, and now you're on wooden platforms in the middle of the sea. Captain Crustacean can shoot lightning bolts from his claws, and he will not stay down for long even if you knock him out. There are also bubble stars and buoy boys that can help you get to the other side once you parry them, the latter which you need to parry. And finally comes the octopus section where you have to parry the jewel to destroy the rocks that get in your way. Shy shrimp also get in your way, and there is the perilous pearl shooter, an oyster that shoots out pearls at you, but it's only in this section. Let's rank them. Forest Follies, literally the easiest one, D tier. Treetop Trouble, the first coin was pretty damn troubling, but I get through it much more easily now. And sometimes the Dragonfly gets rid of a platform that I wanted to get on. That scumfuck bastard. C tier. Funfair Fever, another easy one that I got through without much issue. Hot Dog's attacks still annoy me to this day though. D tier. Funhouse Frazzle, I hate those tubas, but otherwise it's pretty cool. C tier. Rugged Ridge. The mountain goats are very annoying to this day. So are the Grim Juniors, and I died quite a bit to the chase sequence with the Cyclops. B tier. And finally, Perilous Piers. Another medium difficult one this time because of the octopus section. But it's my absolute favorite run and gun level in the entire game. Yeah, I said it. And it's pretty hard, but it's still my favorite regardless. Top of B tier. And now, the Mausoleum. The Mausoleums are the only way where you can get super arts, which, yes, are absolutely needed for the bosses. There are 3 in total, one in each of the 3 aisles. The first Mausoleum gives you the energy beam, where you fire a stream of liquid from the heads of Cuphead and Mugman. The second Mausoleum level grants you invincibility, which does what you think it does. But it's for a short time. And finally comes the third Mausoleum, which grants you the Giant Ghost, which stays on screen for about 7 seconds, and you control the ghost as well. And once it's gone, it gives you a heart to parry, and you can fill the super meter. And that's that for the main game. And of course, we're not done yet. But to summarize my thoughts on the main game before I give my full thoughts at the end, Cuphead Don't Deal with the Devil is an awesome game. The fact that Studio MDHR took a long time to perfect this game with amazing rubber hose animation, great music, a pretty interesting story, and very fun gameplay is nothing short of fantastic. The main story easily gets an S rank in my book. And of course, Studio MDHR wasn't done yet. They worked on the next part of the game that got delayed because of COVID. Yes, the dreaded China virus. They worked on the next part of the game, the delicious last course, all starring a female cup that needs our heroes' help. Miss Chalice! And now we're finally here. Cuphead, the delicious last course. The delicious last course is the DLC for Cuphead that was released in 2022 for Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PC, and PlayStation. It begins with Cuphead and Mugman arriving to Inkwell Isle 4 in search of Miss Chalice, who appears with a magic cookie that Mugman eats. And once he eats the cookie, he and Miss Chalice switch places for a moment. And then Miss Chalice brings the both of them to Chef Saltbaker, who's trying to make a delicious dessert known as the Wonder Tart, comprised of many ingredients that you will get if you defeat the bosses of Inkwell Isle 4. The ingredients that you need are the distillery dough, icy sugar cubes, gnome berries, pineapple mint, and the desert limes. The combat design is much different compared to the main game. And this time, we get the opportunity to play as Miss Chalice. Miss Chalice controls very similarly to Cuphead and Mugman, but her moves are completely different. For one, she has a double jump, which can help make the boss fights easy. Secondly, she has a roll that lets her become completely invincible, which is very handy. And finally, while she does have a parry move like Cuphead and Mugman, her parry works much differently. To parry, you dash. Yeah, you parry as Miss Chalice by dashing. And remember when I said that if you played as Miss Chalice for King Dice? Yeah, that dash parry, it is complete fucking AIDS. And now, let's go over the bosses, and we start with Glumstone the Giant. Woohoo, gnome way out. Glumstone the Giant wakes up and gets ready to attack after crushing the wooden scaffolding. He has many attacks here. Gnomes will appear at the bottom and use different attacks. He can blow his nose as a whistle to call geese that will hurt you if you enter their area, and he will also pull down his bottom lip to reveal gnomes that brew a potion summoning clouds to go at you. And finally, a cyan gnome will try to crush you with his giant hammer, but only if you're at the bottom of the screen. Hurt him enough, and he will get very pissed off, and he will forcefully rip off his beard. Oh, that has to hurt. Good lord. Oh, Jesus. And fall in the background. And he will also get a black eye in the process. This time he uses the puppets of the devil in King Dice that will pass each other the ball. And while this happens, you have to watch out for the gnomes that will dig under the ripped beard and jump at you. After this, Glumstone swallows you whole. Now you're in his stomach, and you have to defeat Glumstone's ulcer. Ugh, that's disgusting. And while down there are crocodilian-like skulls that are teeth that sometimes open their mouths to have a pink bell, which you need to parry to get back onto that platform. Defeating Glumstone the Giant awards you with the gnome berries, the first ingredient for the Wonder Tart. Pretty strong start to the DLC. I like it. Mortimer Freeze, Snow Cold Scuffle. This poor man's Ice King will begin his attacks in 3 attacks. Mortimer opens up his cape where 4 icicle children run around on the stage. He pulls an orange whale form from his hat and attempts to crush it with it, and he summons cards from his crystal ball, one of which is pink. Duh. Once you hurt him enough, he rings a bell, and now he goes inside a snow monster, starting the second phase. The snow monster will attack in 3 attacks as well. He will roll to the other side and sometimes even jump back to his original spot. He will pound the ground where 4 blades pop up from the ground. And finally, he shoots ice cubes that break into smaller cubes alongside popsicles, one of which is pink. After that, Mortimer Freeze turns into his snowflake form, and his final 3 attacks are as follows. One of his eyes pop out and move in a boomerang arc while shooting a laser vertically. He creates snow cone monsters, and finally, his hands shoot buckets. And when they hit the other side, they turn into crescent moons. After that, fight's over, and you win the icy sugar cubes. Yes, sir! The Howling Aces Doggone Dogfight. It's kind of an aeroplane level, but at the same time, it just functions like a normal boss. You move on top of the plane to move left or right, and the guy that had you do the aeroplane tutorial, Canteen Hughes, joins you for this fight. The first phase has Brigadier Bungard launch 2 attacks at you. He dons a jetpack and uses a cat to shoot 3 yarn balls, and the other attack has him flex his manly muscles 3 times, shooting the tattoo on his arm, one of which is pink. And once you hurt him enough times, he rolls off into the background, and now the 4 Yankee Yippers join together to fight you. And remember when I said that Sally stage play was the final boss in the main game to have a secret phase? Well, guess what? There's a secret phase for this one. And all you have to do to access the secret phase is to get the smoke on the Yankee Yippers jetpacks to stay gray. And once you do that, Sergeant O'Farah, I call her Pilot Saluki in my playthrough, saves them, and now all 5 dogs fight you. However, if you defeat the Yankee Yippers, the fight changes back to Sergeant O'Farah, now having lasers shot at you, and the screen flips counterclockwise. Yeah, you heard that right, counterclockwise. And this was where I struggled a tiny bit. Dog balls also fall and go towards you. And she keeps flipping the screen with some lasers being shot at you, then she flips it again, where she presses buttons and dog balls come at you, so on and so forth. Once you defeat O'Farah, the fight is done. And once you finish the fight, you get the pineapple mint. I do like this one quite a bit. It's pretty fun. Esther Winchester. High Noon Hoopla. Holy shit! There is a lot to go over with this one, bro. Oh my god. Remember when I said the combat design is much different in this DLC? Well, they've made the bosses here a tiny bit harder by throwing so much on the screen for you to focus. Esther Winchester and Chef Sawbaker are the biggest examples of this. But let's get into Esther first. Her first phase is wild. She shoots oil that boomerang back to her that turn into oil snakes that come towards you. And she will then lasso a cactus from either on top or the bottom of the building. On top of that, a vulture will appear and drop dynamite on your ass. And there's a flying cow that shoots cactus balls at you. So much to pay attention to, bro. Holy fuck! Once you hurt her enough, she then uses a vacuum to suck in a bunch of gold and money, afterwards shooting out vaults which explode on contact with the ground. More money spreads out afterwards. Once you hurt her enough in this phase, she then gets sucked into her own vacuum where she gets cooked into several sausage links. Then comes the third phase. This time, she flies in the air and runs on the ground shooting circling stakes, one of which is pink. And of course, you have to watch out for the cans of beans that pop up upwards or downwards. And comes the final phase, where Winchester here becomes a can of sausage links, and now you must dodge them all while parrying big pink peppers. Becoming the bomb or missile as either Cuphead, Mugman, or Miss Chalice is definitely going to help you here. Once you finish her off, you win the Desert Limes. That's it for Miss Esther over here. Pretty fun, but damn was it difficult. The Moonshine Mob, Bootlegger Boogie. Oh boy. Oh boy. The Moonshine Mob. How do we begin with you? The first phase begins with Charlie Left Legs, a spider with a very nice greenish blue suit on. Damn, looking dapper, bro. He can launch bombs hanging from cobwebs that only explode when you touch them. He can call in his fly goons that move across the screen. He can kick a caterpillar that fly across the screen. And finally, there are ant cops that aren't your enemies, but their attacks will still hurt you. And they just shoot pesticide at Charlie, one of which is parryable. After getting hurt enough, he lowers Madcat Maddie down with a rope for the next phase. All she does is move across the screen, while the gramophone produces red sound waves that are telegraphed with the yellow sound waves beforehand. That's it. There are ant cops and moonshine barrels that go across the screen occasionally, and one of the moonshine barrels is pink, of course, signaling you to parry. But that's literally it. Afterwards comes Sydney Snout, or Sydney the Snout. I call him Sydney Snout, that's funny. An anteater mobster that reveals Hardtop Harold the Snail in his hat. Sydney uses his tongue to attack, and you can parry it, now that you know it in the first place in the first try. He licks up a group of ant cops and flying goons that start fighting and they go across the screen. Sydney can also fake you out with his tongue attack. You know what else can fake you out? The fake knockout screen. Do not get fooled by that. Hardtop Harold will yell out sound waves towards you, and pink ones can be parried. And once you take him down, the actual announcer will announce the knockout. Very fun! And a funny ending to the boss fight. You are awarded the distillery dough. Well, I guess it could work out that way, but either way, you're done with that. And that's that for the bosses that have the ingredients for the Wonder Tart. Now you are free to go back to Chef Saul Baker's bakery. But before we get to that, let's go over another type of battle that you can get into. This replaces the run and gun levels this time. Welcome to the King's Leap. Oh boy, King's Leap all fights. Oh boy, here we go. The King's Leap is a gauntlet where you take on many of the king's subjects, earning many coins in the process. There are 5 fights in total. All you can do here is parry. Get ready to hear that word a lot here. Starting with the first one, the pawns. All you need to do is parry their heads off. These guys are a pain in the ass. The knight, just like the pawns, you have to parry only. He will do 3 attacks and a taunt. He can thrust his sword upwards, exposing his plume to which you can parry. He can dash towards the other side of the screen, holding his sword out as he dashes, and he tires out afterwards. This gives you the chance to parry. And there's also a wild swing, where he swings in an upwards arc, and just like the dash attack, he will tire out. And yes, you can parry the plume there. Defeat him and he will go crazy, kicking his feet backwards as he circles around like a horse freaking out. Next, the bishop. All you have to do is attack him, is to extinguish the candles, and you parry his head once all the candles are out. It takes 12 parries to take the bishop down. The rook. This one's it's kinda what's the perfect word for this? Morbid? Yeah, that. Morbid. The rook attacks with skulls and pink heads, and while he's sharpening his axe, sparks also fly out as well from the bottom. Once you parry more of the heads, he will get angry and go even faster. And once you defeat him, his head falls onto his lap. And finally, the queen. You must parry the cannons where they line up to her head, which is the only spot where you can attack her. There are also lion statues that will go straight at you, so parry those as well. She can also rain down gemstones for a long time, so dodge those. Faberge eggs can also rain down smaller eggs onto the arena. Once you defeat her, that's it for the King's Leap. And now comes the final boss. The final boss of the entire game, well, not really, but the final boss of the Delicious Last Course. And this is my favorite one in the entire game, by the way. Chef Saltbaker, a dish to die for. You enter his bakery, but he is nowhere to be found. You go down to the shaft and end up in a new area. You end up finding Chef Saltbaker, and he tells you, congratulations, but he also tells you that he never told you the secret ingredient to making the Wonder Tart. A living soul! And if you play Cuphead, he'll have Mugman trapped. And if you play Mugman, he'll have Cuphead trapped, vice versa. And now, the fight is on! Oh boy, here we go. Chef Saltbaker will use the ingredients that you gathered up for him, and let me tell you, this fight was an absolute doozy to get through. He is the last there is so much shit on the screen to pay attention to type boss, like Esther Winchester was. He will use the gnome berries, which fly from the screen. He will use the distillery dough, which he makes crackers out of, with the cookie cutter, and they hop across the screen. He will use the icy sugar cubes, which go across the screen, and some of them are indeed able to be parried. And finally, the desert limes will also be sliced and diced and boomeranged across the screen. On top of all of that, there is a little flame that you need to dodge. That little flame can really fuck you up badly, because you have to pay attention to that flame on top of the ingredients being sent out. Holy shit, this is AIDS! Once you hurt him enough, he gets angry and goes to a much bigger size as he grabs you. He will also summon pepper shakers that you need to shoot in order to even damage him in this phase. The pepper shakers will also shoot many debris at you, some of which can be parried, and pineapple mint leaves will also fall from the screen. And yes, the flame is still here. God, I hate this flame! You hurt him enough by shooting the pepper shakers, and the bakery will collapse on top of him. And thank God the flame disappears. Thank Christ! Now, Chef Saltbaker creates salt-like clones that bounce around, and you have to watch out for a saw blade that goes across the ground. Hurt them enough, and you are now onto the final phase. And the final phase begins with Chef Saltbaker's heart bouncing around two pillars that rise up from the ground. On top of that, you will have glass platforms that you need to jump on, and of course, Chef Saltbaker's heart is able to be parried, and you can parry it to correct your jump and to gain more height. And once you hurt him enough, you're finally done. He will get arrested afterwards and serve his time in jail. Oh, and his bakery gets rebuilt. But you are not done yet. If you notice when you play the DLC for the first time, you will notice some people here. They're shaped like a pickaxe, shovel, and a lantern light, and they will give you various clues on which of the gravestones that you need to touch for them to light. And the fight that you get when you solve the puzzle is the demon and angel fight. One hell of a dream. You need to talk to the ghost detective, buy the broken relic from Porcrine's shop, and solve the graveyard puzzle. And, like I said before, the clues will change depending on your save file, as it changes randomly in each playthrough. They will give you clues and where to go. There are 9 gravestones in total, and you start with the middle gravestone in the second row. Solve that puzzle and the middle gravestone will glow. And after that, you can sleep and you enter the world where the demon and angel are. And this boss only has one phase. That's it. And all you have to do is shoot at the demon. The demon and angel will switch spots, but only when you turn. The demon is the only boss that you attack, and the angel cannot hurt you. You also have a cloud to stand on, which has a lightning bolt underneath. Changing your perspective is crucial. And I say crucial because you never know when a fire barrier will come up, and the fireballs will also go at you, some of which can be parried. The angel's attacks will not hurt you. Not at all. It's only the devil that will hurt you. And that's it for the angel and demon fight, which then turns the broken relic into the cursed relic, which you then can turn it into the divine relic by fighting many of the bosses and accruing 16 points in total. Oh boy. Yeah, damn. And how you get those 16 points depends entirely on you. Aisle 1's bosses has 2 points, Aisle 2 has 2.5, Aisle 3 and 4 has 3 points per boss, King Dice and his minions are 1 point each, and Devil and the Chef Saltbaker have 4 points each. And that's it. Once you accrue those 16 points, it turns into the Divine Relic. And now, let's rank the bosses of the delicious last course. Glumstone the Giant. First phase isn't too bad, and neither is the second phase with King Dice and the Devil Puppets, but the third phase I did have a little bit of difficulty on. It's definitely the phase I died the most to. C tier. Mortimer Freeze. The second phase can royally mess me up a few times, and even though it's an annoying phase, absolutely, I like this fight quite a lot. C tier. I can't believe I'm stumbling over my own words. Damn. The Howling Aces. First phase is not too bad. The second phase is also not too bad, but the third phase, flipping the screen counterclockwise, does fuck with my perception a bit, and I'm still not used to it. I died to the final phase a lot. B tier. Esther Winchester. I hated doing the first phase a lot. But now that I played more of it, it's pretty damn easy. It's the second and third phases I hate the most. High B tier. The Moonshine Mob. The mobsters are very easy to dispatch, especially the first two and the Hardtop Herald. But Sydney the Snout was the only one that was kind of difficult. Not easy, but not hard either. C tier. Chef Saltbaker. Easiest A tier of my life. So much to pay attention to, and if you fuck it up, you get hit. But I actually really like this boss fight. A lot. A tier. And finally, Angel and Demon fight. Only one phase, and it's pretty fun, but changing perspectives too much can screw you up if you're not careful. B tier. And now that I've talked about Cuphead to an extensive amount, Jesus Christ, what is my final verdict? What's my definitive score for this game? I don't think me even doing the final verdict can describe how much I adore Cuphead with everything in me, bro. This game is fantastic from start to finish. I went into the game with an open mind when I first got it. And now that I've played it for Multipals and my own channel, I can confidently say Cuphead is not only beautiful, but it absolutely is pretty damn difficult. And that difficulty absolutely is a positive. It is a beautifully difficult masterpiece in my eyes. Any issues that I would have are mere nitpicks at best. I love this game to death. Studio MDHR, you guys made an absolute masterclass in boss design, fun and engaging platforming, and some of the best visuals in the entire game. And on top of that, it's a very affordable game, especially in today's economy. The game costs $20 without the delicious last course, and it costs $27 that comes bundled with the DLC. And I can confidently say, it is 100% worth the price. Absolutely, without question. Also, now that I've ranked each and every single boss in this game, I want to show you my tier list that I've done while I've been writing the script. It's in no particular order, obviously, so please don't get mad at me for that, but I know some of you may. And I've had fun with every single boss, except for Dr. Kell and his bitch-ass robot! And here is the tier list. If you want to buy this game, I absolutely recommend it, especially if you love to have difficult levels and bosses to fight against. Of course, it's not From Software levels of difficult, not at all, but damn, this game can fuck you up in more ways than one, especially if you play on Expert Mode. The game is available on Xbox One, also on Series X and S through backwards compatibility, PC, Nintendo Switch, also on Switch 2 for the same reason, and PlayStation 4, also on PlayStation 5, again, thanks to the backwards compatibility. Cuphead is an amazing game that everyone at least needs to give a shot. You will love how beautifully animated it is. The visuals look stunning, the music is peak, and the gameplay is engaging to an insane degree, like, damn! And, yeah, that's it for my Cuphead review. I don't know how long it will take by the time I'm recording this, but I'd imagine it'd be pretty damn close to, or goes over an hour. And yeah, this review was a long time in the making. I'm sorry for making you guys wait. Holy shit. And my next review will happen once a certain game finishes releasing its DLC. I bet you guys can guess which one it is. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in to this review. I really appreciate it. This is Archer, signing off. Sayonara, folks!